What's going on, guys?
Good morning!
Back with the Master Snell, and we're here in Mongolia. We're here in Ulaanbaatar, and today we're going to do a little bit of street photography. We're going to do a video I've been planning for ages in which I do street photography with every single lens in my bag. So to do this video, I thought it would be fun to come to the black market. And even though it's called the black market, it's not like shady stuff, I don't think, goes on here. Maybe at one point, but right now it's kind of just a market. And I'm gonna start this video by using the 16 to 35 millimeter f4. This is kind of like my go-to landscape photography lens, but there's no lens for a certain task. You just use whatever lens you want for that sort of shot. So I use every single one of my lenses for landscapes. I also use every single one of my lenses for street photography, maybe with the exception of the 16 to 35. But I do want to show you the wide angle look. I'm going to stick only to 16 millimeters. You kind of use a 16 millimeter or an ultra wide angle for street photography when you're trying to capture an entire scene. You're trying to not just focus in on one subject, you're trying to get a subject within the environment, almost like environmental street photography. So I'm going to walk around a little bit, see if we can get a couple photos. Okay, so the second lens I'm using is the 35 millimeter RF lens. That's a 1.8, and it's actually my favorite street photography lens. I love the look of 35 millimeters, even at f1.8. Yes, 1.2, you get that much more buttery bokeh, but I am a huge fan of this 35 millimeter f1.8. When I do street photography, quite often I'll leave every lens at home and I just go out with a 35. That's how much I like it. I like the perspective. It's like a true eye perspective. And I like that it's wide enough to capture a whole scene. It's wide enough to get the emotion. I feel like I prefer to go wide rather than long. So next lens up, the 35 millimeter. Now the next lens I'm going to put on is the 50 millimeter f1.2. That's actually a Sigma lens. And I really like the lens. Hello. It's sharp, it's fast, the contrast is awesome, it's buttery. Yeah, it's really fun. But for street photography, I don't know. Sometimes it's great, sometimes I come away with nothing. But anyways, next lens, 50 millimeter. So early in my photography days, I didn't use this lens at all. This is the 24 to 70 f2.8. I didn't own it. I didn't like it. Standard zoom, and just everything kind of felt a little bit standard. But I've grown to love it, especially in just days that I'm not planning to shoot anything. Days I'm just planning on just walking around. because it kind of covers a big range. You can go 24 all the way to 70, you can get as low as f2.8, and it does work for street photography. So if you don't know what lens you want to bring and you don't want to bring a whole bag full of lenses, the 24 to 70 does do the trick. But I do find myself more often just grabbing a prime like the 35. Regardless, right now, gonna pull out the 24 to 70, get some shots. So I've got one last lens I want to try to photograph with, and it's a lens I never ever done street photography with. It's the 100 to 400 millimeter Canon. I think that when people start doing street photography, they're a little bit scared. And to be honest, even after years of doing street photography, this is awkward. Even after years of doing street photography, I still get scared. And it's a bit of a crutch to use that long lens. Yes, sometimes you can get some good photos out of the long lens because you can kind of use it to, you know, almost as a spy lens, to get some distance and to kind of be a bit of a paparazzi. But I feel like when you go long, you lose a little bit of that emotion that you get when you're closer to the subject. I can't remember who said it, but somebody once said, if your photos don't have a lot of power, get closer to the subject. So I'm going to do the opposite of that. 100 to 400 coming up. Okay, that's it for today's video. I did that all in an hour, so if the photos aren't great, no, I've got nobody to blame but myself because it's so photogenic in here. Yeah, I honestly think that I'm a 35 millimeter guy. When I shoot street photography, I like to be at either 35 millimeters or potentially 85 millimeters on a prime like a 1.4. But I don't have an 85 millimeter in my bag, so obviously I didn't share that today. I think kind of the point I'm trying to make in this video is that you can shoot street photography on any lens. You can't say, I don't have that lens, so I can't shoot street photography. Whatever lens you have, you can make images. The style's gonna change a little bit, yeah, but whatever you got, you can get into a market and you can get some photos. So that's it for today's video. Greg and I and the crew here are heading now to the West Country, to the Altai region of Mongolia, which should be incredible. So there's going to be 3 or 4 videos from out that way, and we'll see you there. Peace.